Guy's quarterback on your mind right now.
Well, you're wearing a JJ McCarthy jersey.
And you know what I've decided? I think
that?
I'm going to wear a JJ McCarthy jersey
Every episode
until it's officially announced who QB1's going to be. And we could debate, I think there's a lot of ESPN would want you to believe right now there's no competition. It's over with. Kyler Murray was QB1 the second he signed on that dotted line, and that's it. But I mean, I don't think that's 100% sure where we sit early June right now.
I fully expected you to say something like you would typically say, like, I'm gonna wear this jersey until it's officially announced that JJ McCarthy is the starter. I fully expected you to say that. But you remained politically correct at this point, which I appreciate, because I'm definitely on the other side of the aisle from you on this argument. I think the job is Kyler Murray's. And honestly, like, this last week, all I've seen is, JJ McCarthy left practice early. JJ McCarthy was stretching by himself for warm-ups. JJ McCarthy seemed to have this angry scowl on his face the whole time at OTAs. And I kind of buy into it. I'm going to be honest. I kind of buy into it. I buy into the fact that he is separating himself. I buy into the fact that he is wanting to maximize his impact in this competition. And I buy into the fact that he knows he's the underdog. I'm going to buy into all of that. 100%. And I could be the fool, and that's fine. Come August, I could be sitting here and you could be, laughing at me like, look at you were wrong. He just left practice early because he had to go home because his wife was sick or something.
So I did hear specifically about that leaving practice early thing. I think it was Alec Lewis of The Athletic, who I really like a lot. Alec is a good follow.
Yep.
He puts out a lot of good stuff. Really, really good Vikings news person. But he was the one that initially said, like, Kevin O'Connell sees everything. He sees when, maybe a throw doesn't go the right way. He sees when JJ McCarthy walks off of the practice field at the end of practice alone, where the other three quarterbacks kind of stay back together. But then he did kind of, like, within that, Alec did within a day or so say that he's pretty sure he heard McCarthy had, like, golf plans with some teammates, and that may have been why he left the field on his own rather than hang around with the group of quarterbacks. I don't know. I don't really care about that, and I don't think anybody should really care about that. Because in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it matters for the quarterback competition.
I think you should care a little bit. Like, what did the coaches always tell us when we were growing up?
Sure.
Like, right? Hey, put in 110%. Show up early, stay late. Do every little thing, right? And if you're former proverbial starter, former top 10 first round draft pick, highest draft pick at quarterback in team history, is leaving early in OTAs to go golfing with some buddies.
Well, I don't think he was leaving early. Or I think in that specific scenario,
leaving on time,
practice was done, and rather than walk with the group, he walked a few steps ahead. I think that's about what it was.
And again, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't watch it. But that would communicate something to me if I were the coach. Like, golf is a little more important to him, huh? And people could throw the same thing back in my face with Kyler Murray, like, oh, well, he was probably trying to rush home to play video games or whatever. Like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever.
Also with that, like, as a guy who is rooting for JJ McCarthy in this competition, I think the idea that people saying, like, oh, Kyler plays too much video games, like, that's also, like, who cares? Like, I don't care what Kyler Murray does.
I don't really care either. In fact, I'd rather have him do that than do what Jordan Addison was doing.
Oh, yeah.
This time last year.
In front of a green light. Or getting kicked out of a
country
casino.
Club.
Yeah,
casino,
at like
whatever
4 in the morning.
Yeah. So anyways, all that to say, I don't know. I buy into some of the hype a little bit.
Which, we're supposed to.
And I think it will come back negatively on JJ McCarthy. I think every little thing he does from now till August 100% matters, including being a few steps ahead of your teammates, leaving the facility to go play golf. I think that matters. I think it communicates something. Like, I'm not saying you got to like sleep there and be there all night. But if you're that guy and you are that passionate about winning that role, then you need to be there bright and early in the morning, one of the first ones there, and you need to be one of the last ones to leave. And that's a principle that I live by as a leader in my own life. Like, I'm going to be one of the first ones there, and I'm going to be one of the last ones to leave every single day. That's just part of who I am.
Absolutely.
And I personally subscribe to that, so I'm going to hold others that want great things for themselves to that same standard. So
I also want to make it clear, too, my personal thoughts on this quarterback competition. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm a fan of the Minnesota Vikings. I want Kyler Murray, I want JJ McCarthy to win the job because he earned it. I want it to be a situation where the guy who the Vikings took 10th overall and who has had minimal opportunities due to injury, I want that guy, for the sake of the franchise, to win the job and to be good. But truthfully, I'm not going to pitch a fit. I'm not going to be pissed off if Kyler Murray wins this job outright. And even if it's one of those, like, maybe he's already got the QB1 job locked up or 90% locked up. If he wins the job, I want the best players to be playing for the Vikings, regardless of who was drafted by who and what place they were and who's paying who more money. I want the Vikings to start a guy at quarterback who can throw 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns and win games and not choke the last 2 games of the season, and who can be a team player and lead the team to the Super Bowl. That's the only thing I truly care about.
I think that's all we want.
Yeah, really. But I think it would be nice if that guy ended up being the guy that they drafted super high. And be clear, too, the punishment for whiffing on the McCarthy draft pick and the Sam Darnold free agency re-signing has already been dealt out. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah was fired for probably a lot of reasons, but that was the main one, that and draft. So I think Kevin O'Connell, I think obviously Nolan Teasley. As far as this whole JJ McCarthy situation goes, they're free rolling. They truly have the opportunity. Kevin O'Connell is not going to look bad if he's like, yeah, we went through this competition and Kyler Murray won. Okay, that happens, you know. He's not looking bad because he was the coach that drafted JJ McCarthy, because Kwesi Adofo-Mensah was the GM that drafted him, and he already got punished for it. He's out. There's a new GM. We're free rolling. So there's a lot of freedom with the Vikings right now in their quarterback decision and situation, and I truly think it will open up for the idea that the best guy, whoever actually wins the job, will play, and we won't have any questions. I think it should be noted, if JJ McCarthy wins this job and he's the week 1 starter, there should be no questions that he won the job, and it's not one of those where Kevin O'Connell's trying to save his job by putting the rookie or the young guy out there. It's truly going to be whoever wins the competition, and I love that.
You're waiting to take a bite, so I'm going to let you. In this little break here, I would like to point out, I'm starting to sweat a little bit. Like, there is some slight perspiration along the forehead, along the neckline. Like, it's there, and I feel it. Every sip of beer makes it worse. Alcohol makes spicy stuff even spicier.
Okay.
Which I didn't learn until a little bit later in life. Like, I was a little naive to that fact for a while.
Huh.
And then I'd eat food like this, and I'd drink beer with it, and I'd be like, why is it so spicy?
Why is it so spicy?
And that's why. So yeah, I'm dealing with it over here, but I'm good. I'm fine. It's not those ghost pepper whatever you gave me for the purple punishments.
Oh, eating something spicy is something that has to live on the wheel of purple punishments
For sure.
forever. It's such a good punishment.
And I'm going to try to find something like extremely spicy for you.
Okay.
And then you're going to find something.
Hold on.
You're going to, no, there's going to be something mildly a notch down.
I don't agree with this.
We're not on the same page.
I don't
here,
agree with
and
this.
we're not on the same level.
It's got to be the same. It's got to be the same. We can talk off air on that one.
Okay.
But
Well, if it's like one of those like internet, have you ever done the one chip challenge? Mm-hmm. Have you done those?
yeah, that's not bad. It's really spicy, super hot. I don't do it because I want to have a snack. But they're not like going to ruin your day.
I think it would ruin my day. It might ruin like my week, my month. I don't know. It would. Whew. We'll have to talk. I'm tearing up right now. From
Mind you, folks, I think we've already said it. We have honey barbecue and Parmesan garlic. Buffalo Wild Wings, reach out to us. Tell us if there's anything spicy involved with either of these recipes here.
well, I think honey barbecue is technically higher on their spicy scale than Parmesan garlic, but I disagree.
I've heard like children say honey barbecue is spicy. But like when we get Buffalo Wild Wings to eat as a family, did you just find a bone in
I
there?
just found a bone.
Oh,
in there.
man.
That was kind of gross.
Breaking news, chickens have bones. These are boneless though. They're supposed to be. But
That
as a
one was
family,
not.
when we get Buffalo Wild Wings, we'll get like 30 honey barbecue. And maybe we'll get like 5 of the like sauceless ones, the naked ones. Mm-hmm. But like my kids, they probably don't even know there are other sauces. Because I also don't get like the mango habanero or the super spicy ones when it's the family. Because like I like honey barbecue, I like them all, but I mean, I've also never heard Parmesan garlic as a spicy option. It's okay.
Spicy. It's tangy. It's good. We buy the Parmesan garlic sauce in bottles and we cook with it. And I think that's even spicier than the wings themselves. Like I think when my wife cooks with it, it's even spicier. I like it a lot. But I'm like, that's like me ordering. That's like you ordering the hottest wing that you can order at B-Dubs.
I will say their hottest one, the Blazing or Blazin', I'm not a huge fan of. They're just really spicy, but the flavor's not awesome. I think their mango habanero is much better, and that's like either the second or third hottest one according to them. But yeah, I'm not getting any semblance of a spice vibe from these, and that's everyone's different. Just like the Vikings have 2 different quarterbacks. I've even heard people saying like Carson Wentz could win the job outright.
I think that's a little far out.
Yeah, because like I don't think he's QB1. He's solid QB2, come in, play a few games like he did last year and win a few games. And statistically, he played better, had better stats than JJ McCarthy. I think JJ ended up with like more yards, but Carson still looked better. Yeah, it's a new year. I've also heard apparently JJ has really worked on his mechanics, and one of the tough things about him was he only had one ball. It was only one speed, one ball. He threw a 10-yard pass the same way he would a 30-yard pass, and that made it difficult. So apparently that's one of the things he's working on there too. Neither of us are at practice. Neither of us really see anything other than those like 1-minute YouTube videos of highlights that the Vikings put out. But from people who know what they're talking about, apparently JJ is looking good, but also so is Kyler Murray apparently.
Yeah, and it's just going to be a really interesting summer, I think, to see how this whole thing develops and to see where things shake out at the end, Is it going to be JJ McCarthy here's my prediction. If it's JJ, it's JJ by a hair. It's so close that it was tough. And I think Kevin O'Connell would be pretty transparent with some of that. Like, I think he would say, oh, yeah, it was really close, tough competition, but JJ's the guy. He's the one we believe in. Kyler's going to back him up. Or I think if it's Kyler, I think it's going to be, and this is where I don't think KOC would be as transparent. It'll be Kyler by a mile, and KOC will still say, "Oh, it's really close," but and everybody that's going to be there for training camp will say it was Kyler by a mile. But the politically correct answer will be, "Oh, it was really close," but
Well, some people are saying right now it's Kyler by a mile.
Right.
Which I don't know how much you can believe really anything right now, because what we aren't involved in is the meeting rooms. We don't know if they're being told the same exact thing, or if KOC is trying to work on one thing with Kyler Murray and another thing with JJ McCarthy, and all we see is those 2-minute highlights from the Vikings on YouTube and the tweets from the reporters that are there when media is allowed to be there. There's not a lot of concrete, viable information until Kevin O'Connell comes out and says, "Yeah, Kyler's our guy. He's QB1, or JJ's our guy." Until that happens, we can't. All it is speculation. I'm trying to think of when the teams put out their first unofficial depth chart, because it's usually in the preseason. We get a few different versions over the course of a few weeks of a depth chart, and that's something that explodes on Twitter. And it's like, oh, so and so is listed as a starter, and hey, this first round rookie's a third stringer right now. And there's always that caveat of that first depth chart of this is just where we're at right now in mid-July or whenever they end up putting them out. That's something that is going to explode Vikings Twitter, because I'd bet almost any amount of money QB1 on that first depth chart that comes out is going to be Kyler Murray. And I almost am to the point now that I think it sounds like there's a really good job, or good probability that Kyler Murray is going to be QB1. And again, that's fine with me. I want it to be JJ just because that feels better, but it's probably going to be Kyler. And that's okay. But definitely that first depth chart, can you imagine if it's JJ McCarthy? That's going to, every facet of Vikings Twitter is going to explode. All of the questions to all of the coaches, even on the defensive side, and the media availability is going to be like, what do you think about JJ? You're like, oh, we're kind of surprised by this. What went into this? And the coach, KOC, is going to be like, yeah, it's how it ended last year. And he's going to give a company line of don't worry about it right now. And that's also going to be the case if Kyler Murray's listed there too. But that's what we really should be looking for.
Well, it'll be ESPN worthy at that point too. If JJ is the announced starter on the first depth chart, I feel like, ooh, party foul. He just dropped a wing, everybody.
I dropped a wing on the desk.
On the desk,
my mouse.
On your mouse.
Oh, and Oof. It was the saucy...
That was
saucy honey barbecue.
That was a real saucy one. And we're out of paper towels. You're going to have to use your napkin.
Yeah,
there.
That's okay.
Sorry about that.
No, I can only blame myself, Ev.
It's okay. It's still edible.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to eat it.
You need some more dipping sauce,
too. I'm good right here. Okay. I got the one blue cheese. It was good.
Plenty more. I'm almost done with my second ranch over here. So,
but I need that. Pretty spicy there.
I need to douse these things in ranch in order to enjoy them. I'm still sweating and crying a little bit. But to your point, I think whoever is announced the day one starter or the preseason starter or that initial depth chart starter, it will be ESPN worthy. I think if it's JJ McCarthy, that'll dominate for a week.
Oh, no matter who it is, it'll be explosion. But if
that'll be the
JJ,
news for the week. I think it'll be a little quieter if it's Kyler. Honestly,
you're gonna get a lot of. You're gonna
Why
get
not
the
JJ?
It's gonna be the Shannon Sharps or the Stephen A's or the ESPN people being like, no, they have to trade JJ. JJ's the worst, and they gotta, even if it's a 7th round pick, they gotta get something for him because it's gonna be a toxic locker room and he's gonna throw a fit. ESPN is gonna explode no matter what, but they're gonna pile on the Vikings and JJ McCarthy so much Because to them, they won't ever need to see another snap at practice or see another unofficial depth chart ever again, because the first one the team's going to put out is going to say one guy. And that's all that's ever going to matter. And none of it will matter until week 1 of the NFL season.
To that point, though, like this week has been, JJ should be traded. JJ should be demanding a trade, and that's after just, a few anecdotal observations at OTAs, which probably don't mean a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading into them. I'm choosing to buy into the drama, but others aren't, and that's okay. But
I'm pretty sure we're still in the voluntary portion of the off season right now.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
That alone should tell you none of this really matters. It's about getting in shape, installing some of what they're going to be doing. But we're not even in season mode yet. They're still practicing. We're talking about practice here.
We're talking about practice. I just saw a picture of Allen Iverson playing the Lakers, stepping over Tyronn Lue. That was a historic moment. Like, he stepped over him, and it was this big deal back then. Nowadays, you see guys step over each other, and it's just like, whatever.
Is the NBA...
It's a flex, but...
Is the NBA still going on right now?
Yeah, they're in the finals right now.
Oh, yeah.
I believe the Spurs are down 2-0.
To who?
The Thunder? No. Yeah, the Thunder. No. I don't know. I know the Spurs are down 2-0.
We are a football podcast.
Exactly. I think it's the Thunder, right? No, the Knicks.
The Knicks. There you go.
I was like, no, those two teams are way too close to each other to both be in the finals. They might have the Spurs might have beat the Thunder to go to the finals.
Well, the Spurs beat the Wolves at one point too. So.
Yeah, they're down 2-0.
All right.
The Spurs are. The Knicks are up.
And 2-0. I have officially filled up my cup of caring about the NBA for the year. So that was it. Good job, Ev. Thank you.
Here you go.
All right, Ev.
I don't know how we got talking about that.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I think we've hit the point where we have talked as much as we can at this point without any more official news about the quarterback position. You're a Kyler guy. I'm a JJ guy. We can still be friends. I think people forget that all the time. Anytime in life there are two sides and people are on either side of that, apparently we have to hate each other, but we don't. You're a not spicy food guy. I'm a spicy food guy. And apparently not spicy food is spicy.
For me.
But yeah, I had one other maybe mini segment we could talk about a little bit that I totally thought of without talking to you about first. So we'll see how this goes.
Veto. Just kidding.
All right. You have been listening to episode... No, I'm just kidding. Evan,